From your perspective as the executive director of a National Christian Education Association, how has Christian education fared during this COVID-19 crisis?
Thanks, Gary. So something that you noted that I think is important to establish early is at the AACS, and I think with Stand in the Gap Radio also, we don't necessarily equate Christian education with Christian schools. And I see that this is a question later in our discussion today, but Christian homeschool education has exploded. But looking at the Christian school side of Christian education, COVID-19 has been a very disruptive force. And if one of the results of that disruption is the decentralization of power in education, in the long run, that could be good news for all of us. More in my field, as we look at what happened in the spring with COVID-19, last spring Christian schools did very well. Most, within 1 week, made an effective transition to online instruction that satisfied families in the short term. They were happy with the result for last spring, realizing the circumstances. This fall could be a very different story for some, and I think we'll touch on some things related to that later in our discussion also. There are a lot of illustrations or stories, local news articles that have been sent to me. Let me just give you one illustration and then move off this. A lot of the news stories have looked something like this. Christian school in our community makes a rapid pivot to online learning, while a public school district is still mired in the bureaucracy and hasn't launched online learning. Good illustration of that is Fairfax County in Northern Virginia, one of the 10th largest school district in the country, that never really got online learning off the ground last spring.